In the Ada East District, residents affected by the Akosombo Dam spillage face challenging circumstances. Forced out of their shelters to make room for students during exams, they now endure sleeping in the open, exposed to harsh weather conditions. This dire situation particularly impacts island communities, leaving many residents vulnerable. For more on this, my colleague Fred Duho provides detailed insights in the following report.
In some days and probably weeks since the Volta River Authority shut the spill gates at the Akosombo Dam and to prevent excess water from leaving the dam due to their own engagement and assessment of the situation. Now let's embark on a trip to those communities to see how they are coping with life aftermath. Gakai etia do domema ovu Akosombo Dam pleto de sika kan odo.
Gala fama fi akwa fa apaya makata fa ma toko kata ba ikeleka.
Ta uha no ameyo kploko ide azizanya die suku o me va no fi ma.
Maraku e.
Kini kata mi trova fi la ho.
Imanya nke ja fi obe mi va fama.
Ke kine va pa me leke afa me fe condition ole.
Fi ala afama la fi me ba afama jajiranro.
Well, I've been asking her why did she return from the safe haven into a house. She said, well, they've been asked to return, and she's now trying to put her house in order.
Tamachi asugbo ya mabamno na no vinyare le fi abamno afama ya gotamno mile. Ya fi ba promi afon square. Okay. Ya maba fi amabamno na gota. Mi vinyo.
You am nene.
Ni vinya mi vinyo question nya ma enyi. Bonye de dopiani. Kachi agbona mi no nam.
She's been saying that she lives here now with the husband and the children, and they are about 8 in number, making a household. In effect, when the water came, this was a very first house. This one you see here. And then the water actually collapsed it. Then she had no option than to now do this temporal structure, where she's now having to do with her entire family. So they sleep here and they do almost everything in this very thing that looks, excuse my language, like a hen coop.
Kama amarubi akpalanya tu ho na manu mama ajijogana ezefia hore kemali animamlemo.
Water has entered this whole room, so this is where she sleeps with the family. Now the floor is so obvious. The concrete or the cement floor at this point is also broken, and it tells you the visible signs in this room. And her TV on a table here. You see the bed that is also here for her and the family. She tells me that the water actually occupied the entire bed. This is literally a makeshift structure she's in. I see the branches of the coconut trees being used for this whole thing. I'm entering into her house to see. No, so so she's okay. So you have a baby. The main bed is here, and the children sleep on this bare floor, where she lays the cloth for them to sleep on this cement, and the cement is also visible with water flooding this room. Some few days ago, she has a baby sleeping comfortably on the main bed, and when the water comes, this family would have to rush out to be sure that the children are safe. Now, if the water should enter into this room at night, all the children that are sleeping on the floor here would be the first recipients of that water. So they would feel the wetness first before their parents also go until it elevates to a certain level before they can feel it. Mama, let me call Agbenola here.
Nya topoto afie dokolaba gbododo na mina. Gaka mi onto mi chovota. Gaka mi litruka chi ganra va. Avara funa mi azachi panya privinyo mili. Achi avagara homa. Manye no viota de ma vaca que batia va fo kokora nui va fo achi kokora de kafinya pri review mi mloji vagara tv clean water basa ta na nya
obe mi de suku kwaji han ya fma
suku kwaji mi
da ke mi trova
mi yi vo nyanya mayu first day na mi ayi suku kwaji kafia mona va mi yira fi ma vinya ye pa la mama va ko ata ova isi kamera faith kopa ata na nyanya magavayu.
She's been saying that they went to the safe haven at Azizanya, the school compound that we went first, and when the issue happened, her daughter actually fell sick. Her child actually fell sick, and they were admitted at the hospital, and that is how come they were not at the safe haven as of the time the people were taken there. But the water came so high that she had no option than to pack blocks. I see blocks right here. Okay, so this is so obvious. Okay, they now pack these blocks here to be able to elevate this wood. This is just wood with mat on it. So literally all these things were on the floor, and when the water came in, she had to rush and then pack these blocks. At least I can count 1, 2, 3, 3 of them with a piece, making it, let's say, 4. And that is what has elevated the bed this high for the baby to have that level of comfort at the top there. We are now heading to one of the island communities that was affected by the flood and to assess the extent of damage, and then again appreciate how the residents who have returned to this island are literally coping with life. After about some 10 minutes boat ride from the main Adanfo area to Azizangbe, an island community, this is still the remnants left behind by the flooding that came into the community and rendered many homeless. This place has now been left vacant. Now you see the entire place has been abandoned. When you open this door, it takes you to a bigger compound where people have their belongings in the open space just under a shed. So the wall you see right there is the one separating the main compound from this particular place, and you see their belongings, the personal effects in the open, just covered with these roofing sheets. And basically this is a bed that has been placed on cement blocks on a mat, and this is how the people here are coping. In case of any harsh weather condition, this person would have to think of fleeing from this place to save his life. We are on the island community here at Azizakwe and assessing the situation where a number of people have not yet returned to their collapsed buildings. Now this is one typical one that has collapsed because it's a mud house with thatched roofing, and we have this one which is a cement block but developed a very huge crack due to the flooding. This is an open space, and this is so obvious that this is where they sleep at night. Now look at another one. This is another open space. Look at this. You have another net in the open space. It tells you this is another sleeping place. Here is a third one with the mat and cloth, so the evidence is right here, and this is where they are sleeping. Now take a look. That is just the sea and the river meeting right here, the estuary. So they are living literally on this heap of sand, which is really, really devastating because they are surrounded by water, except for the building where they are sitting and just hoping for some help to come their way. If this building should collapse, they have absolutely nowhere to go. And this is also a madhouse. The water level is so visible that it tells you this building can equally go down any moment from now. I see an old lady here who is, I think she's struggling to see. She has a walking stick here. Mommy, Efonama. Open code.
Gifting bena.
Gifting.
Bena.
Oh, Tafla chelo elenukpo.
Ah, nyemele nukpo tututu. Melo wokpo ngake nyeme.
She says she can see partially, but she knows there's an object or a human being standing right before her speaking, but she can't really identify even what I'm wearing, and that is her challenge. So kana ehwo mu fiare fika ayi ne zando kochia echi vafia kochi mujeji onuka awo
ne kiava eyo baba ne mie jesi time o babaga mia dogo mia bano ehi hafia kafi ngunake na nguke kwa kafi mia ba kuchiale homeke.
She's adding that in case the water comes in at night, they have no option than to leave the room for the fear that the building will collapse on them. So they would have to stand outside in the open until the water recedes, and then they come back in to fetch the water that has gathered like a pool in their room. Ta leke kola gbenon le fia me kawele ji opon le fia.
Devio kole ji nye pon la fia.
Epenene la si o.
Epe blani.
Well, she's been adding that she's 80 years old now, and the little kids that are in there are the one catering for her. To worsen their plight is the tidal wave also that is rising and entering, eating of the shores and causing them a lot of havoc. Like the chief of the community here mentioned, a sea defense is their solution to all this flood situation that has been worrying them over the years. We are leaving the Azizakpe Island in the Ada East district, where we've seen how women and children, being the most vulnerable, are reeling under the impact of the flooding that caused havoc to their communities. Most of them have been pushed further into the bottom line of extreme poverty, and they are really hoping that help comes their way very soon. My name is Fred Tuho reporting for Citi News.